Fired. Look who President Trump just fired. Libs are boiling mad. The IRS targeting of conservatives is news again today, however, not for the reasons you're considering. Prior to today, the Department of Justice reported it had settled the lawsuit raised by a large number of Tea Party and conservative groups who were focused on Lois Lerner's Internal Revenue Service, for which she pled the fifth. It ought to likewise be noticed that in a time of misleading law breaking and non-straightforwardness, the Obama administration had what's coming to its of these scandals, a large number of which are right now being brought to tolerate now that he is securely out of office and Hillary is not any more a major player in the swamp. The fact of the matter is that the draining of the swamp proceeds gradually, yet unquestionably walk towards a superior government. In a move that was proclaimed by many genuine conservative Americans today, President Trump formally reported the termination of John Koskinen as director of the IRS, and will replace him with a temporary director beginning 1 month from now. This is awesome news, and ideally will begin our Make America Great Again period out with noteworthy make a beeline for a really open Department of the Treasury. By a political insider, it's no secret that the IRS targeted conservatives during the Obama administration, and they got away with it too for the most part. Former IRS Unit Director Lois Lerner was initially the central figure in the scandal, infamously pleading the fifth when summoned to testify. Obama's Justice Department and FBI would conveniently later find substantial evidence of mismanagement, poor judgment, and institutional inertia, but find no evidence that any IRS official acted based on political, discriminatory, corrupt, or other inappropriate motives that would support a criminal prosecution. It was a coincidence that Lerner granted only one conservative group nonprofit status in 3 years. Sure, the IRS also fired people in connection with the scandal for unethical, even criminal actions, but didn't have much trouble quickly rehiring 213 of them. When it comes to the IRS, there's plenty of swamp to drain, and conservatives have been pressuring for the removal of current IRS Commissioner John Koskinen to fully wipe out the influence Obama imposed on the office. Back in March, we reported that an off-the-record White House meeting with roughly 24 conservative leaders included explicit calls for President Trump to fire IRS Commissioner John Koskinen. According to a source in the room, and their desires will be granted. Like many before him, Koskinen will be hearing the words, "You're fired," according to the Daily Caller. President Trump made it official on Thursday that embattled IRS Commissioner John Koskinen will be out of a job next month. Trump tapped David Cotter, the Treasury Department's Assistant Secretary for Tax Policy, to serve as interim IRS Commissioner beginning November 13th. How ridiculous it is to have no accountability at the agency responsible for collecting a quarter of the nation's annual income. President Trump has made an extraordinary stride in draining the swamp with the termination of John Koskinen, and we can hardly wait to perceive what number of more IRS slugs we can dispose of sooner rather than later. Yeah, I totally agree with this. The swamp needs to be drained and fast, but it takes time, and Trump's doing his best to get them out, and I'm sure they're shaking in their pants. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and again, thank you so much for watching.